boosted the notification.
Okay.
Checking the audio.
Okay. Check the audio. Right now it says on Twitch. Oh yeah, on YouTube.
There it goes. Check, 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 check.
Watch out, bearded man!
Wait. Hey, that worked just fine. Cool deal. What's up, Faith? Alright.
Alright, yeah, that sounds good too.
Yes, you get it. Sounds alright.
And then just the Twitch I wanted to go.
Send out. Send it out. Very new.
Come on, tweet, where are you?
I don't know.
There it is. Tweet. Paste.
You said you were ready with all this.
I was, but I gotta wait on the tweet. Not my fault, Twitter's terrible.
Apparently you're not paying enough for your Twitter service.
Yeah, apparently not.
Get the
I refuse to pay for Twitter Blue just to be able to type more than 140 characters.
Come on, Trey!
It's gonna say, yeah.
So, as usual, I have a pre-show topic for you.
Excellent.
This one is very special. There is an RPG horror story that got posted yesterday
Okay.
about a brand new campaign that was starting up inside a company. So a company had been trying to foster teamwork within an art studio team
Okay.
for the company, and so they said, hey, we should start up a D&D campaign. Now, the person that was chosen to DM it says they've DM'd a lot before, and said that they would handle all the sending out the messages and inviting people to the group, and you know. And so they sent out their messages, and all the messages said that they would not be telling people what system they were running until session 0. And they would not be telling them if it was fantasy, high-tech, low-tech, whatever, until session 0.
Okay.
They didn't want any influence, and they didn't want their intellectual property to be stolen.
Okay.
And then said, also, participation in this campaign will cost you $25 a session. Because they decided they needed to be compensated for their time. The business, the company was the one that told them they should do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but instead of asking the company to pay for it, DM asked the players to pay for it.
Yeah.
And they would be running twice a week. So that's $50 a week. That's $200 a month.
Charging near enough to DM.
So, obviously, this campaign never got off the ground, right?
Yeah.
All the players said no. And, yeah, I wouldn't do it either. You kidding me? First off, I don't get to know what we're running.
Yeah.
So we could be running anything.
Right.
And then second off, no, I'm not going to pay you $50 a week to go to a work event
Right.
and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Trust me, I wouldn't play it with most of the people here anyway.
Right. So the topic that's come up from that is, should DMs and GMs be paid to run these games?
Yes and no. And if you're just getting together with friends and you know,
Come on, Trey!
you get snacks and stuff. But look, man, if you run a professional service, you've got all the minis
Yep.
and everything. You've got really nice decorations, and these are people you don't know. These are not friends that come over and put you DM for. Then yeah, there should be some compensation there.
Right. If you're working for the Dungeon Masters Guild or something, for a league or whatever it's called for wizards.
Well, there's a guy that's been running campaigns for like 30 years. Same campaign. Got a huge amount of miniatures, landscape, all that. Going to play in one of those sessions can be quite an experience.
Right.
Yeah, I believe he could charge for that.
Yeah.
You know, so yes and no.
The other problem that comes up with that is the problem that I've seen happen a couple times where people are paid, and that's somebody goes, "Hey, I'm gonna slip you a 20. Make sure I get a good magic item today."
Hurry up, Runkard.
Like, that's not how that should work.
25. We're at episode 25, okay?
Halfway through.
Halfway, yeah. Halfway there. If it's they're playing it like it should have been the end, but then they didn't.
Half the show to go.
That's the other go.
But no, I think absolutely there are situations, especially like if you're going to a convention and you have like say the creator of Shadowrun, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you want him to run something for everybody, he should probably be,
yeah,
paid for his time.
yeah. Give him some money for the time. Yeah.
If Matt Mercer or Brennan Lee Mulligan was like, "Hey, pay me like $10," I'd be like, "All right, that's probably fair. They're gonna bring a bunch of stuff with them,
Well, yeah, but also, like you're talking about somebody on that level DMing. Also, look, if you get footage of that, that's all, that helps you.
Yeah, that's gonna pay you that $10 on its own.
Yeah, so I quite a lot more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I can take.
For sure. But to get, hey, guy that you've never played for before, you don't even know his name, like, Johnny down the street, no, I'm not gonna pay him $100 to play D&D with him. And, I play in your games a lot.
It's not matters to some. Well,
If you asked us to pay, I'd be a little upset, Not because I don't believe you should be paid for your time. I brought you a bag of chips Sunday.
right.
But because I don't have a lot of money. And I don't want to have to choose between game night and something else that I'm already trying to get,
Right.
Or like bills,
Yeah.
Yeah, we bring snacks.
Big snacks. They're trying to kill me. Yeah. No, it's a different level thing.
Mm-hmm.
Going through that. That's the thank you very much. I don't even think that's necessarily a bad idea in the company.
Right,
I think the whole way that it was implemented is terrible.
right. If the company paid for it, that could actually be a really good bonding experience for employees.
Yeah, but just giving, hey, we have this room.
Right.
After work, it will be available.
Mm-hmm.
And people probably, it might be slow going, but people start coming in there to play.
Right.
Talk, wrap about work and everything else. And you will build, you get more and more people. Some people may just come in there just to watch, find out what it's about,
Absolutely.
There's ways that I think you could implement that for your team building, if they wanted.
Yeah, that's right. There is one other thing I wanted to mention on this, which is if you're somebody that says that, you don't think that DM necessarily deserves anything, but you're making them buy every new book that you want to use in your games.
Yeah.
They're having to pay for all the books. They're having to pay for all the additional races or classes or anything like that comes out for your game. That's a problem. You should probably be helping get some of that stuff.
Yeah.
If the DM's going to get that stuff anyway, maybe, but like, when we started looking at Pathfinder, I had already bought the digital copies of a lot of the Pathfinder 2 stuff. So I linked that stuff to you. And that's not me being like, oh, look at me, That's, the DM should not be, the GM, whatever, should not be expected to buy every book that you want them to use.
No, one, because not every book's ever needed in
Right.
the system. Right, well, take care of what you got to. Not every book's needed. And so I was like, if your DM wants to try it out, and the DM should pay for it.
Right.
If all the players want to run in it, they should probably help pay for it.
I agree.
To that, but it's all good. If everybody treats the other decently.
Right. And I don't mean to extend the pre-show topic because we're past normal pre-show time, but if you're playing Theater of the Mind, that's one thing. But if you're playing with minis, and the DM's having to buy all those minis, and the DM's having to paint all those minis,
Yeah.
like, that's a problem, too. The players should be helping with that. It's a shared experience.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That guy's been, the folks out there that have all the landscape,
Right.
Yeah. They could say, hey, I will run your game. And know the rules, like they know the back of their hand.
Right.
You know, I'd see no problem in them having competition.
Yeah, I agree. But if it's just, hey, we're going to play a game that I, made up in an afternoon and we're playing all theater of the mind and, I don't know about that one. So, I also think it creates a weird divide with, like, there's a big difference between, hey, I'm going to this person who does this as a job and I'm going to my friend's house.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay them for us to play this game. That's got a weird connotation to it, but.
No, bring snacks.
Yeah. Help pay for books.
All right.
Yes, we should get started.
All right.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum TTRPG podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rummerin.
And we got some stuff to talk about. Now, we do have a little bit of news. Real quick, the kineticist has been more fleshed out a little bit, rules-wise.
Okay.
We still don't have the full thing, but we have some previews. And it looks really complex for Pathfinder 2e. It looks to me kind of like Oracle levels of complex. So definitely don't recommend it for new players. We've just started Pathfinder 2e. I wouldn't play a kineticist at this point. And I've read that rulebook all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is complex. You can focus down one element, or you can split to two elements, or you can split to all 6 elements. And focusing on one element gives you a lot more stuff you can do in that one, of course. Focusing on just 2 gives you like half that you can do. And then if you do all 6, you only get a few things you can do, but you can use all 6 elements. So
Okay.
it's really cool looking. But man, like at one point, eat flame is a reaction that you can do where if somebody tries to hit you with a fire attack, you can eat it. Like, oh, that's really cool. But you get that if you're fire attuned.
Yeah.
And if you're dual attuned, you can still do that. And if you have all 6, you can do some of that. But it's all different, the amounts of stuff you can do depending on which attunement you have. So, it seems like it's going to be really cool, but
Yeah.
it might be one of those things where, hey, maybe one person at your table runs one.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be hard to make it good if you're not careful, I'm afraid.
Right.
But we'll see.
Like, everybody runs one, but you got to pick a different element.
That could also be really cool.
Yeah.
And then you get to find out if the elements are balanced.
Right. Nobody gets to do it up or stick that up or whatever.
You don't get to be the avatar.
Right.
You get to be one bender. That's actually not a bad idea to run an avatar-style campaign with that.
Yeah.
That's like that. You should do that for us. see, Chad, this is why Rungrid is so reticent to take suggestions from me. It's because I'm always trying to give him more work to do.
All right.
Would you, just real quick, rewatch all of Avatar to prepare for that?
I don't know, but we watch it all. I'll probably watch a bunch of it, though.
Yeah.
Or at least watch, like, have it on when preparing if it's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
And if I made up my word, I would know how to say some of the names.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
Hey.
yeah, that one.
Sokka.
I don't know.
I don't know how they got that wrong.
Okay. Hungary's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if for like the origin of Hungary, which got some myths and stories around that, but when you're looking at the people that made up Hungary, yes, you've got a lot of European,
Yeah.
right? You've got like Persian, Turk in there, it seems like, and then like going all the way over to the Siberian steppes.
Yeah.
There were, and it kind of comes down through like down to 2 people, and there's a story about 2 brothers I'll get into. It was real. Yes, there's a lot of Slavic there, but like looking at the Slavic stuff with Russia, there's a lot of Slavic stuff there. There's a lot of stuff there that was Russian.
Yeah.
Right. With that, and that, so I kind of not necessarily steered away from the Slavic stuff because a lot of it overlaps.
Right.
Do that, but most of that was definitely that was definitely Hungary,
I got you.
right? With that.
Other than the little bit that I knew from Slavic, which was already kind of a big empty spot for me,
Yeah.
I am blank here. I know nothing about Hungary when it comes to their mythology.
Well, there's a lot of stuff I think that I'll bring up that are like, oh yeah, it was like, of course they call it something different.
Oh no! Well, we're glad you're here now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why you were cooking poop.
Maybe it's a delicacy. I don't know.
I don't know. Went through lots of stuff. Characters about. What was I saying? Picked off the wrong thing. Ruined everything. Let me hit the back button. There we go. So I'll start out with Hungarian gods. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta go with some of these. We pulled that up for a reason. So the first one I have to start off with is Isten.
Okay.
Isten. And it literally translates to God. Isten is a father god, and he controls and observes the middle world or earth. Now, I found a lot of the kind of like a world tree in Hungarian thing, but like the middle area of the tree was where we are. The underworld is the roots, and then the branches and stuff. That's the heavens.
Okay.
That's how the world tree kind of works.
I don't mean to interrupt you so quickly, but this is a backhand thing. Is this okay for you? Can you read this fine, or do I need to switch the windows?
No, that's it.
Due to some technical problems, Rungren can't have the chat up on where he normally would have it, so we've got it up over here. But I just wanted to make sure. Please continue.
All right, right on. Isten, his father god controls the Earth's middle world. He's possibly older name from older time. His stories are told for a long time.
Right.
Before we can write any of them down, is Areni Etruska.
Okay.
Areni Etruska, and of course he's your golden father is how they translate it.
Okay.
He can shape the fate of humans, threaten war, and he uses lightning to like threaten or warn humans. Yeah. But he is the he is all father. He is
Yeah. Lightning gods are sick.
your Zeus, your Odin type thing, right? And I think after you move from, because Hungarian kind of moves from like pagan nomadic tribe when you're looking at big swash of history,
Right.
Looking at this pagan nomadic tribe into like Christian knights
Yeah.
type eras where you kind of get these two
Makes sense.
kind of things going. And like, man, there's been invasions and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened in this little part of the world over the years.
Yeah.
Okay. Istantania is the mother god,
Okay.
wife of Istan, also known as Bodo Gazzoni.
Okay.
Bodo Gazzoni. Blessed One, or Hajnal Anyakth. Dawn. Okay. She's got us moon, fertility, childbirth.
Makes sense.
She is the partner of Istan. They had children, and one of those children was Hador. He's the third son
Okay.
of the god couple, right? And he's god of war.
Okay.
He's the so we're talking about like how like all the influence you'll get in Hungary. When the big one is about, and this is where a lot of the myths come from, is from the Magyars,
Okay.
which is, I don't know, ancestral Hungarians through in a way, but they sacrificed white stallions,
Oh.
white stags, white cattle, anything like an albino animal. They sacrificed it to Hot,
Okay.
right? Oh, some of these names. So, the second son, was youngest. The second son, Kirali, he is the king of the wind. And he has silver armor. And yes, he controls wind, rain, storms. He is over that. Very important, rain's very important for crops.
Right.
SC.
I did miss the Z. I did miss the Z.
E-L. K-R-A-L-Y. Yes. Spelled like that. But a storm guy. We see quite a few of those around, right?
Yeah.
They're around.
Also, just again, like always, we mean no disrespect if we get the names a little bit wrong or anything like that.
Right.
Welcome back, Will. We're just trying to talk about how cool this stuff is.
Yeah. And yes, we're going to do a very poor job of it over the next couple of hours.
Always.
All right. Napkarali. This is the oldest son. He's king of the sun. And when he was a kid, he decided to help his parents create Earth.
Okay. Yeah.
He rides a silver-haired horse through the sky. Watches the world pass below.
Okay. That's cool.
And those are some of the guys. I'll give you some more things to look at, to look up.
Okay. Said this during Polynesian, by the way, but artists, get on this. Hungarian mythology needs to be represented, please.
I'm sure that search probably has no idea what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, probably.
Can't pin down. This guy's not going to know this stuff. That's not what he's looking for. Kokopelli. Kokopelli. Kokopelli as a trickster figure.
Okay. Ooh.
Not, I would say much as being like malevolent, but very mischievous.
I got you.
I think of seen a few different representations there.
Yeah, it seems like he's a little widespread.
Yeah, go through that. He's a trickster.
Just a quick heads up for anybody Google searching these. Some of these have a third arm down below, if you know what I'm saying. So be careful if you're looking these up at work.
Right. Okay. Now, Argyrus. I like that. That's a good strong name, right?
Yeah,
Argyrus.
like
This is
that
the
a
god
lot.
of fire and blacksmith.
Okay.
Associated with craftsmanship, transformation, forging of weapons. Your forge was a hearth to Argyrus. Makes the well, how can you deformed dinosaur?
Yeah, I think it's because they're trying to pull up like Argyrus from the Godzilla franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, some of these pictures, as always, will be
Yeah.
Yeah. Not safe for work.
People are people.
That's interesting. No, I'm not talking about Greek Argus.
No, we're talking about. Well, it's got the little thing over the A. I don't know if it can make any.
Yeah, probably. But it keeps trying to recommend me sheepdogs, so
Well, okay.
I guess there's that.
Well, so I'll give you another one.
Okay.
Ordog. Ordog.
I like that name too.
Ordug. Maybe? I don't know. But he's a devil.
Oh.
He's a demonic figure in Hungarian mythology.
Okay, yeah, there's art of him.
Yeah. Who you tempting to, always tempting to go do something you shouldn't.
Makes sense.
That. And it seems like so a lot of the words, like Istin and Ordog, after Christianity was accepted in the empire and all that, those were still used. And there were still like pagan factions.
Right.
Through even when it was a Christian country.
Apparently that is also an enemy in Bloodstained's Ritual of the Night. And it is a skinless dog.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't know about that.
Horrifying.
Right. Now this This sounds like something that a character would play in the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Saba.
Okay.
CSABA. And
Summer.
right, exactly. Right. Legendary warrior and hero. Proud Hungarian.
Okay.
That's who there. Always in the defense of the homeland.
Yeah.
There's pictures line up sometimes. Need better.
Yeah. There's one here.
There's one there.
I think that might be spoiling me for a story, but that's a cool. Is that a story? Do you have that story today?
No, in that story. That is cool.
Saba and his warriors on the Milky Way?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
This is why, again, when we talk about why we want to talk about these, like, these are every country has cool myths.
Yeah.
And they most of them don't get talked about. They should be.
Yes. Yeah. Make some noise for what we can. And a couple of other legendary here, right? So we're going to have Hunor, Hnor, and Magor, and they're brothers. So Hunor is a progenitor of the Huns. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Attila the Hun,
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, okay.
These are the brothers.
Yeah, they're brothers, and they are known for. He's known for his courage and military skills, right? And then Magor, he's a hero leader. He's associated with the Magyar tribe,
Okay.
and their early history.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah, okay.
I dig it.
Another one to bring up for you.
Gives me ideas for later.
Right on. Baroska. And this is just the Hungarian version of Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is. I just thought it was interesting. It's a version. I don't know what version would be the earliest one.
Right.
It's its own version. It actually has more. She has more stories than just. But she is Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But she goes on to do more stuff.
Right. Another story.
That's cool.
Let's see.
There's some art that I pull up over here and they go, I don't know how I'm going to sleep ever again.
Right. Well, I'm saying it's got a history to it. And there's like Rakoski, and he's an actual national hero
Okay.
from the Hungarian War of Independence, and he's always seen as a symbol of like an independent
Right.
Hungary, right? So this one right? Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Bathory.
Apparently she did some very bad things through that, but she is often makes appearances in Vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many appearances over that.
She's like she is the Dracula to female vampires, basically.
Right. Yes. Bathed in the blood of young virgins. Yes. Wasn't very nice. Kind of psycho.
For anybody that might go, I thought her name was Elizabeth. Well, it kind of is. That's the rough.
Yeah.
Bring it over. That's what you're gonna call her. You know.
Right, you're right. That's a bit, but let's see. Who I got next? The Sarkany. That's dragon.
Okay.
And this is kind of your the D&D ideal dragon, right? He's guarding treasure,
Right.
causing destruction. Let me show you.
Nice. Some good images here.
Yeah.
People love dragons, and I'm people because I love dragons too.
Yes. Atya, often referred to as the father of the Hungarians, or a great ancestor, a legendary figure, and he led the Magyar tribes.
Okay.
I've got a couple of stories about that. I don't want to spoil it away.
Right.
But Atya and I wanted to mention this guy named Geza. He was a duke, and he was the father of Saint Stephen, not Stephen the Martyr, obviously. time.
Right.
This is much later.
Yeah.
But as far when it came to the Christianization of Hungary at the time, it's a big part of that.
Getting a lot of lions with this guy. Don't know why specifically. I don't know if this is a painter that painted lions later. But-
Name gave it. Yeah, it's just a gave it. Tautos.
Okay.
The shaman-like figure with magical abilities, often associated with healing, divination, and communicating with spirits.
Okay.
So it's the medicine man, right?
Makes sense.
Go to that. Gotta chase off the evil spirits and then find out where they go, what path you should take, right?
Right.
Oh, and the last one I got on the list is Vira, and that is a horse. This is Shadowfax comes to mind from Tolkien. Obviously, Tolkien's not really myth, but
Right.
he created myth. That's a different discussion. But yeah, this is alpha horse, right?
Nice.
Beautiful grays, the fastest,
Again, artists.
right?
Need you to get on this. The only one that it keeps coming up for me is Tarul, which apparently is a giant bird.
A giant bird. Now, yeah, Tarul is a giant bird, and you will have a. I do believe I have that story.
Okay. Awesome.
You think?
Awesome.
So we'll go ahead and get to some tales.
So far, cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, and I'm not trying to talk bad about it or anything, but nothing that's blown me away the way that some of the other ones have. But it could just be because these ideas are ones that I already know.
Yeah,
It's just presented in a little bit different way.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
You know, Elizabeth Bathory obviously is like, that's super excited that we got her area
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
but there's not much to say about vampires or her without just taking over the show talking about vampires.
Right. Yeah, because it ends up it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Just for those who know, we talk, about Elizabeth Bathory being like in November. Bela Lugosi, I believe, was Hungarian,
Yeah.
and so he, and he is Dracula. All right, played the first Dracula. So that.
I think this is everybody's favorite time when we get into the stories. And I don't just say that without data, because I watch as the view count goes up
Okay.
when we get to story time. It's like, yeah, people know it's story time.
Okay. All right, so I got a couple stories for you.
Okay.
They'll line out here. First one is the legend of the White Stag. And there's some names that you're going to be familiar with as I go through this.
Okay.
In a great and ancient land, the king, Nimrod, his first wife, bore twin sons.
You can't just say that name and not. Hold on.
Named Hunor and Magor. They became great hunters like their father. On a hunt, the father got separated from the sons. The sons came across a wondrous stag, or hind,
Right.
the older versions, and they chased it. They chased it through meadows and glades, trying to keep up with it. Across rivers, through forests, always heading west. All right. It's dusk. It went from dusk to dark. Got dark. They camped for the night. Couldn't see it, but then they saw it again in the morning, and they started again chasing.
Okay.
Mountains, they went across swamps. Finally, they came to this land, changed a land where the river, where the deer jumped into a river and disappeared.
Okay.
After all the chase, after all the work they've done of keeping up with it, tracking it, trying to stay with it, the two brothers were just heartbroken.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So they went back to the father. Right?
Anytime with the rope.
And this had such an effect on them that they asked their father to build a temple there where, for the stag.
Hmm.
And so Nimrod built the temple, and they stayed there for 5 years.
Wow.
It's a big deal to them.
Yeah.
This was, yeah. The white stag was something that's very special to them, right?
Yeah.
But they spent this time learning how to be leaders.
Okay.
And they learned how to be great kings for actually these 5 years. Great deal of meditation and teachings. So as they and their men were scouting nearby territories, they heard music and followed it to a forest clearing. Here they saw a young woman dancing around a fire, celebrating the stag. 2 of them were particularly beautiful young women, the daughters of King Dula. The princes kidnapped these princesses and married them according to their custom.
Okay. All right, guys.
With their wives, Magor and Hunor settled in the bountiful land where they lost the deer, and they prospered and multiplied, eventually growing into 2 great nations, the Huns and the Magyar.
Okay.
And thus, both peoples were founded and bound together through their founding legend.
So we're just gonna skip past Nimrod the Hunter. We're not gonna come back to that. That's all there is to do with that.
But I don't know if it's that Nimrod. All I know is that's what it called, and he happened to be a great hunter.
Yeah. That feels a little too coincidental to me, but I don't know.
I mean, whatever. I don't know what time this is supposed to be set at.
Right.
How those lines up. As I said, when you start looking into the depths of Hungary, you get, this huge spread, like Europe, like this Middle East, Persian, and Turkish kind of influence in there.
Yeah.
All the way up to the steppes, man. It's just this big area that came and channeled and came, this country, this history.
Kind of like a big melting pot of.
In a weird way, you got, okay. So now I need to tell you about the Sword of God.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's an apt title, I guess.
Well, there's because it was a king, and under a king, they brought Christianity in.
Right.
A lot of the stories stayed the same, but like the name of God and the devil.
Right.
That is the name they use for in the pagan. They use that as
right.
Christianity. They use that name. It's like, yes, that is the name of God.
Right. So it got reattributed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. But in some legends, Sword of God was created by Potter, the blacksmith god.
Okay.
It was forged from a meteorite and given to the Scythian people to conquer the world. Now, we don't have a whole lot of information about the Scythians.
Right.
Around the Black Sea, in Russia, they were terrifying, and they could work gold.
Right.
That's about all I got. Okay. Wanted to do a story about them that involves some other things. That's another thing. The Scythians were undeserving of the Sword of God, and so the Magyars and Huns won the sword when they defeated the Scythians.
Okay.
Apparently, they had. Look, I know a little bit about it. They found like grave sites, and where they buried the king, like one of the leader, whatever it was, the thing. They had buried horses standing up with people on them. They had run poles through there, so they were dead standing up. So
right.
Guard. And they buried it all. Real weird. So the Huns, the Magyars and the Huns, ancestors of the 2 brothers, defeated the Scythians, who were thought to be undefeated. I didn't really build that up. But that sort of God.
Yeah, when you get the Sword of God, you're probably not going to lose too easy.
Feel pretty good about it, right? Mm-hmm. So the story goes on. The Huns wanted to go one way. The Magyars wanted to go another. So they gave the sword to a blind man. Spin.
Okay.
And they said, where it lands, we'll go. We're not getting anywhere arguing over it. But as the blind man spun it, a big gust of wind came up, picked up the sword, and blew it towards the west. and nobody can see where it went. They just know it went to the west.
God wanted his sword back.
Right. Later, a shepherd found it buried in the ground.
Nice.
The tip of it nicked one of his sheep.
God like shepherds.
Caused it to bleed, and he could see that it was powerful, and he took the blade to Attila, the Hun. It was like, you're the only one worthy of having this.
Okay.
So the sword had become known as the Sword of Attila. Through that. And
things are starting to fall into place for me.
Right. And that's the cool thing about myths and legends and stuff, isn't it? Okay, so Attila used the sword in battle. And it's not the Huns preferred bows and axes, but he used the sword. And he ended up dying before the sword's magic, could have him conquer the world.
Right.
He did do a pretty good job.
Yeah. Made it a good distance.
And the sword's kind of gone. Maybe buried with him. May not be, not sure. The Empire fell.
I do know there is a replica of that sword, because I only knew it as the Sword of Attila before this, called Azustalek.
Okay.
And they named the replica because when they made the replica that was supposed to be dull, a man nicked his thumb on the tip of it. And so they said, a replica of the Sword of Attila is as strong as the Sword of Attila, even though it's probably not, right? But they said, well, we will name it, and they named it Azustalek, which I don't know the exact meaning of, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There's some weird artifacts. Like there is a church you can go into, and inside the church there's this elaborate little display. Very nice glass case, golden laid, and around that plexiglass, and it's got King Stephen, his hand, his fist, and it's clenched, and the thing is preserved.
Yeah.
Box.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's got, you can go see it.
Yeah.
They got a little thing there. It's like, hey, this is an esteemed object.
Right.
Be respectful. Go see
Yeah.
it. Go see it. But you can actually go see it.
Like the bodies of the saints in the Vatican?
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the Turo bird.
Okay.
This Turo bird is yes, kind of supernatural. It also takes on, and it seems like a big eagle.
I love birds.
Right? It's a big raptor or something.
They rule.
That. So let me go on to that. The turtle, I believe, is on the Hungarian flag. That's the bird that's on the Hungarian flag.
Makes sense.
So, Amis, a lady named Amis, she's the wife of Attila the Hun's descendant, Ugyik.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Right. But in it, the turtle bird had appeared to her. And she saw a clear stream of water coming from the west. It flowed towards her, and as it got closer, it became a massive river. And she took this as a like a vision of her, that her ancestors would do well, would spread and prosper.
Okay.
That her lineage would be great.
Right.
She gave birth to Almos, Father Arpad, who is the founder of Hungary.
Oh.
So there was more that I was going to go into, lost it. But the bird, that's what it was. In one legend, where the brothers spin the sword, the bird picks it up and carries it.
Nice.
They follow the bird, and the bird drops the sword in Budapest.
Oh, okay.
And that's the capital of Hungary.
Right.
And that's where they pick it up.
I was really hoping there would be like full Legend of the Bird fighting a dragon, and but it's okay. I get it. We don't always get to have birds fighting dragons like we did in Korean mythology.
Right. I've got two separate notes with that. Get that to consider civilized. Yeah, the tallest bird, sacred bird. Got that down.
That's cool that that's on the flag, though. That's like, it's a nice touch.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going through it now. I think I've covered this. Because I talked about the
Come on, Trey.
Get with it, man.
I know. I just like to see birds fight dragons. Giant birds fighting dragons is cool.
We talked a bit about the world tree. Villagerdo or Villagfa.
Yeah.
We mentioned, there was the Norse Yggdrasil
Right.
and the Slavic world tree. We talked about that a little bit. We talked about Yggdrasil more than we did the Slavic world tree, I do believe.
World trees are cool.
So I had a couple more.
Like the idea of a giant tree that the roots connect everybody. World trees show up a lot in like Wuxia.
Yeah.
Because the world tree, like, it picks the fighter,
It was even in like but even like trying to think exact, like in Final Fantasy VII, it wasn't a world tree, but they had like when they didn't call it mana, did they?
The life stream.
They came out of the earth.
Yeah.
They had an essence, right? Is that
Yeah.
what they call it? I can't remember.
Ether.
Was it ether?
Ether. Yeah.
Okay, see, I knew it had a special name.
Yeah.
I knew it.
No, I like that idea a lot. The root of the world that, connects everything together. That's a cool way to do that.
Okay. This is what happened. Okay. Back on. So I got you some more things to talk about.
Okay.
And I had to bring these in. These are Garabunchus. Garaboncis.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how to say that. Garabunchus.
Got over in today. Nice.
On that.
Lord Oberend is super cool.
But these are magical humans.
Oh.
You could tell, you would know a Garabunchian when they're born, because they are born with all their teeth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's handy.
They will grab a book and go around begging for milk. And if you have milk, if it don't give it to them, it will curse your house.
Oh.
They're also associated with dragons, and also are in some legends, like they're the only creature that can ride a dragon,
Okay.
control a dragon. It's a human,
I gotcha.
magically human, born with all its teeth.
Right. There's got to be a connection there that's been lost to time. But
I'm sure. Something that's must. Yes, I'm sure there's people much smarter than us. Probably some Hungarians that could tell us.
right.
Hold on.
That's a cool idea. I don't know what the
Connection is?
maybe just they're born with magic in their body already.
Yeah, as already, yes. Something adult already about them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Born with a destiny maybe is the goal for it. So there's no chance to risk not having all their teeth.
I have no idea.
It's a cool weird thing though that I think, like, we're talking about how we would use these in TTRPGs, right? I think I would have that right, but I think I would have that be a thing where, like, the players are all these. They're people that
you've already been set. You're already set aside.
Yeah, you have magic inside you.
Yeah, you've already been set aside.
Can manifest in all these different ways, but
The heroes.
yeah.
That would actually that would. Yes.
At a young age, you gained your sapience and grew teeth.
So these are two different things. We got the Ludurk or the Lidurk.
Okay.
Ludurk or Lidurk, and these are the best. These are if you know, these are incubus and succubus.
Okay.
That's what these are. Okay.
Artists.
Yeah. They I'm sure they're there. They're just maybe not doing the
Yeah, probably not with safe search on.
turn off safe search. The Lyric is mythological creature with sexual nature, associated with English terms incubus and succubus. It can be either male or female, depending on the human that it picks.
Okay.
So the human that comes to love.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of Ludert. There's the chicken Ludert that hatches from an egg and feeds on humans' blood in exchange for infections. A little vampiristic kind of thing
Okay.
there. Love me and I will drink your blood.
Right.
The devil lover appears as a flame or firebird and becomes human when it lands on the ground, often with webbed goose feet, so you can recognize it.
Okay.
You know, getting hit on would be like, you know, sort of, hey, let me see your feet. That was probably not such a good thing today, but maybe it's understandable.
Hey, girl, we're getting along real well, but before this goes any further, I need you to take your shoes off.
Okay, let me see your feet. But it's not very nice. It preys on lonely people or summoned by them. It takes on the form of a dead lover and giving its new partner nightmares or wasting them away in a slow death.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's... Man, we were having fun, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. Right. There is that.
I think that's worse than a regular succubus and incubus.
A little bit, yes. Go a little bit, go into a little bit more because these are ones that, like, there's definitely, I know there's other, like we talked about these,
Right.
Other myths, same, almost exact same thing. They call them the Tundurek, and these are fairies. And why I say those fairies, I mean they are. Fairies in Hungarian mythology are beautiful young females. Usually appear in groups, dancing and singing, sometimes bathing in the lake. There are good fairies, there are bad fairies in the mythology. Good fairies will save you from evil and spend their time just frolicking nature. The evil ones will lure and pull people in the water and curse them with disease.
That sounds more like fairies that I know.
You're right. The common, though, are the simple, no, excuse me, they're less common. The evil ones are less common. Usually they are simple, young, beautiful, good, and evil. The witches are evil, not fairies, right?
Right.
And they're old hags, they're ugly, therefore they must be evil, right?
Just don't ever give one your name.
They do, Thunder, the fairies in Hungarian, they live underwater, among the clouds, in the forests.
Right.
Kind of places you see sprites, dryads, other fairies that we've talked about. These beautiful women in the woods.
Right.
And the nature around us. Right? Just some of them have to be small.
Be careful no matter what size.
Right. Okay. So now we know about witches. We talked about them.
Right.
Hungarian, they're babak or borsrken.
Okay. Let me get this written down. I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call from Croatia that I don't think I'm going to answer.
Really? Because are they watching this?
It might be.
Like they track you down.
See?
Like, look.
Croatia.
Yeah. You want us to do Croatia next? There's other ways. Talk to them.
Right, you don't have to call me.
Right.
I'm going to decline the call. You can give me a message. Whoever.
Right. Yeah. Look, they didn't view witches well. This is not an unheard view of witches, right?
Right.
That they are, they are old crones.
Right.
Usually but they're seen as wise or mischievous, so those characteristics. They know, they may be evil, but they know stuff.
Right.
Of course, it put hexes on people's and animals. If crops go bad, it's a witch. If I'm not a witch.
That sounds about right. That's how it goes.
But they put hexes on you that doom love, that cause animals to go dry. Of course, a lot of farm-related curses.
Right.
They did.
But does she float in water?
They maybe they find out. I don't know. These were a constant worry and evil for peasants, right? People who worked on had farms, worried about witches. This is in a few other places too. It's probably dealing with witches and also some that deal with other things. So they were known to come and sit on their victims at night, applying pressure as an invisible force or a creature like a cat.
Right.
On the chest, pressure.
Yeah.
to that.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, got some of those, and of course, people be blamed for which in the community. They're
Right.
not. Some of them were like, okay, out in the woods. Almost had a lot like that Baba Yaga thing where
Yeah.
she stayed out in the woods by a weird. She was evil. You didn't want to cross the path. Stay out in the woods. A lot of these, somebody in town would be about
Right.
witch. To do that. Hungarian mythology has dwarfs. They call them the Torpek.
Nice.
Right? They're not swarthy, mind-working beings. They're not the Tolkien dwarves, so to speak, D&D dwarves.
Do they fight for dwarves?
Dwarves must fight for dwarves. They're foxy little beings that lived in the forest. Sometimes underground, they're mischievous and cunning. You bring that up, they kind of make me think of like gnomes
Yeah.
from other places.
Yeah, I get that feeling as well.
Lots of ghosts.
I don't have to pull this one up for you, Chad. I don't have to spell that one for you.
Ghosts and wraiths. They are ghosts as you from popular media as we've seen today, the same type of thing.
Right.
They're not big on the whole cosmic scale and everything. They can interfere with your life.
Right.
Individually. And there's some that the Cello are mermaids.
Okay.
Upper body of a woman, lower half of a fish.
Right.
Lured men into water. Manok were goblins,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and they have giants, the Oraiaso.
Okay.
And they live in the mountains, and like what was it when we called it the Giants Causeway in Ireland?
Yeah.
There's some stuff around Hungary. There's like the giants built that.
Right.
That was go through it.
Okay.
And I talk way too fast, huh? Going to.
That's okay, because we still have to figure out how we're going to run it.
Yeah.
And from what you've told me, it sounds like we can run it pretty much. I know we keep saying this, but pretty much straight. Just
Well, yeah, you got stuff that. Of course we got mermaids.
right.
Go,
Goblins, dragons, fairies, dwarves.
You've got a pantheon there. That's pretty straightforward to put your clerics and paladins through
Yeah.
to go through this idea. I mean, it's not it. It all has its own flavor.
Right.
All this fits together and kind of paints this for this Hungarian mythology. All this goes together. Who from the father god down through the sons and the birth of the nation and things like that. Two brothers once again.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the brothers earlier, and I said that it gave me an idea for later. I think one thing that could be really fun to do in the campaign is have maybe the trickster that was mentioned earlier, have somebody trying to drive a wedge between the two kingdoms of the two brothers.
Yeah.
And it's the party's job, as these people that have been set aside, born with magic, to go try and stop this before it winds up becoming a problem.
Yeah.
And, the Huns and the Magyar.
Yeah. I get it. I don't know. There is quite a few. There's something because you've got legendary kings. You've got like there's something like okay. I could easily replace this. Like I don't want to do the Arthurian myth again. That's kind of something. No, right. Again, and this would fill a lot of those niches. I think to fill a lot of your fantasy world with a completely different like culture and landscape behind it, so to speak. Go through that.
When you got like the quest for the sword of God. There's a bunch of different stuff you could run in this without having to change much of anything. You just change the names.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that we don't get into, like a lot of little things, because they've got there's I think they call them rainstones.
Okay.
That some shamans would have, just like all these little magical items. Now, I think we mentioned like some big ones from this. I think we talked about Excalibur. Yeah. Right, as a big weapon we talked about. I think in Japanese history there's a couple of legendary weapons we mentioned. Right. And everything. But I noticed that looking at Hungarian, there was a few things of Yeah, we talked about some of the, like for Polynesian, some of the totem.
Yeah, and the bowl of Duggan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things like that. So they've been there. They, brainstones. There's, you have the blacksmith's god. You have the sword of God, the sword of Attila.
Right.
You got that kind of legendary status there. I think you easily do something, with bows, birds. You got a good motif.
Yeah, for sure.
Killing bird, and the kind of the idea behind it. Things like that.
No, I agree. I think there's a lot of good stuff you can run here, and especially if you also borrow from some of the Slavic and some of the Persian,
Yeah,
because it's got a little bit of each of those. So you borrow from some of that, you wind up with a full.
There's a story, and I should have found it. I didn't. Apparently, there's a story. It's Egyptian, and it's just called the Egyptian Princess.
Okay.
And the Hungarian mythology has a version, and they call it the Egypti Tomi Hersegno.
Okay.
And yeah, she kind of plays that like Egyptian,
Right.
Egyptian right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crossed over, and they've got a version of the Egyptian princess there.
Makes sense.
It's weird how there's a lot of overlap, right? It's not the exact same thing. We made fun of Rome a little bit.
Right.
It's the exact same thing, but there's stuff. It seems that there's stuff through all this mythology that happens, right?
Yeah. Vampires are everywhere. Dragons are everywhere.
Yeah.
Giant birds are everywhere.
Yeah. Giant bird, right?
You run down the list, incubus and succubus and witches and ghosts and
Yeah. It's kind of
ideas that are just in the collective consciousness of mankind and apparently have been for a very long time.
Yeah.
But
It's been around for a bit. You get into you got Elizabeth Bathory there,
Yeah.
right? Some more modern myths, so to speak.
Yeah.
Dracula.
right.
That's giant bird fascination.
I can't help it. I like giant bird.
Vlad the Impaler. That's Tasmania.
Right.
Hungary, but that's in that region.
Transylvania, right?
I'm sorry, Tasmania. That's
I was
by
thinking
itself.
Tasmanians are way over
That's
there.
way over there. Hold on. I'm gonna get that quote. 65,000.
Yeah. No, Dracula's cool. And
Hungary's kind of not exactly in the middle.
that's the thing I would focus on too, is maybe have like a whole sequence of sessions that are about a vampire queen.
Yeah. You've got the Hungary, Slovakia is north of it.
Yeah.
Got Austria right there, Romania.
Yeah.
What took place in the show set in Moldova? Serbia, south to Croatia.
You also got Czech right there.
Yeah. Czechia.
Watch out, bearded man!
Poland.
But when you look at when going back and look to it, yeah, it's like, you had the Huns there,
Yeah.
and then you've got, they fought against the Mongols one time, and of course, that became in part in the culture,
Right.
Persians and all the rest. It really comes from, like, I was expecting, like, this is European,
Right.
kind of idea, and it really goes way out beyond that.
Yeah, it spreads quite a bit.
I figure out where we're going to go next.
That is the question, isn't it? Where do you want us to go next, chat? I think there's a lot of good options you can do here,
Yeah?
but I think that, in my opinion, the most fun thing to do would be, hey, we got to go find the Sword of God. It's been stolen by the Vampire Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
go
got to
straight
work
up.
with the dragons. You have a druid or a ranger. Maybe they wind up getting stuff from Tyrol. From
Yeah.
the Tyrol bird.
Yeah.
And you work together. And at some point, somebody winds up with the Sword of Attila for a very brief window. It gets to just cut through anything.
Right. You have to have that to do the last hit on the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that.
Right. Tasmania.
Tasmania.
I don't know any mythology from Tasmania.
I know about the devil and the wolf.
Yeah, the mage has the sword for some reason. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Look, you never know who's going to wind up holding the sword. Oh, God. Call the Sword of God for a reason.
Yeah. It's apparently helped out Attila for a while.
Also, like, Nimrod the Hunter, man. I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah. Sure.
Why was he mentioned specifically? You cannot tell me history. You cannot mythology. You cannot tell me that you just put a guy in there named Nimrod and went. Also, he's a really good hunter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know what you're referencing here.
Yeah. I know who that is.
For anybody who doesn't know, Nimrod the Hunter is mentioned very briefly in the Bible as basically the greatest hunter in the world
Yeah.
who winds up becoming a king.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of divide over what the phrase "before the Lord" means, because it could mean he worked for God, probably did not, almost assuredly did not, but it most likely means that he was like a warlord on the earth.
Yeah.
And was just on earth, which is in the sight of God. So,
Right.
but
Yeah. Like he was, or it was like, I don't know, there's a weird thing about hunting there. Maybe he was doing it out, so he would just do it right there.
right,
I know what you mean. It's
yeah,
I think it does define him as a Nephilim.
right,
Nimrod was a Nephilim.
yeah.
Do that, and
Wound up being king of Sumeria for a little while, according to the Hammurabi Code.
well, there's some things that tie him into the Tower of Babylon.
Right.
You know, other
Yeah,
than that.
so it's Crash Bandicoot. I don't think that's a mythology that we could dig into, but I feel like you're referencing Taz with that. But vampire mythology.
Batman mythology everywhere. It'd be kind of like pick it like somebody said it's a Christian mythology.
Yeah,
But
it would be like that.
It kind of keeps coming up.
So
Right?
it might not hurt to do it.
Yeah.
But it would be, hey, here's the core of it, and then here's some of the variations, I guess, is the way you probably have to do it.
Yeah, like the vampires, we understand it, like we get for Dracula or whatever. It's
Yeah.
this one, but they're and if we define it as just a human-esque bloodsucker,
And then we gotta talk the Edward.
yeah. But don't do that. I don't know. I'd like to go to Hungary. I'd like to go to Budapest.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
Yeah. I would like to go see the Hand of Saint Stephen.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
be interesting for sure.
I got a bunch of stuff about travel.
Yeah, kind of like we did Arthur. That's true. That's true. We could do vampires kind of the way we did Arthur.
Yeah.
And then we'll have vampires covered.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Not like we've got nothing covered.
But it means that at some point we could do an episode on giant birds.
That's true. Well, I was thinking about it because the time we talk and everything, we're just looking at cool ideas.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's not so much like trying to dig through and just trying
Right.
to get some cool ideas. Try to answer a few questions if we can. But the
The Phoenix, the Blizzardi,
yeah.
the Rock Eagle,
But there's
Great Condor.
just like we could pick a creature, just the ones we went over.
Right.
Or we could pick a creature for each one. That would probably delve into
Oh, yeah.
the level of that, different stories it shows up in, and things.
No, I get what you're saying. The Phoenix is not a really cool giant bird. The Blizzardi's a really cool giant bird. The Phoenix is a really hot giant bird.
Yeah. And they're everywhere. All over. That'll be a good lead into like, some of the what they call the Native American tales.
Yeah, that's right.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
The,
Oh, Thunderbird's so cool.
that.
The Great Condor as well.
Condor, man.
Emotional damage.
No, it'd be really cool to cover that at some point. But we have Final Fantasy has the venue for sure, yeah. But there's so much of the world still to cover too. So I'm not against covering vampires. I'm not against diving into like specific topics because we're gonna have to do it at some point anyway. But just let's not forget about the rest of the world, chat.
You got so many more names and stuff to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the tales from. Oh, there's a. I don't know. I kind of like the story about the eagle taking the sword to
To the boy.
not taking.
To Budapest.
To Budapest.
Yeah.
And like marking it.
Yeah,
a
that's
cool
cool.
story.
That's cool. I like the Tyrol bird.
And it's like the brothers didn't kill each other.
Right.
Try to kill each
Romulus
other.
and Remus.
No. It was like, okay, but we're going to stand here and argue. Can't. Let's figure out another way to decide on which way to go. Yeah.
I blame Lord of the Rings, by the way, for my fascination with giant birds. Because the way those books describe when the eagles show up,
One here, Landerlaw, and all that.
like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Giant eagles, and they change everything.
Yeah.
Like when they show up in The Hobbit,
Yep.
whoo!
Oh yeah, that's Tolkien using cheap writing skills right there. The great writer is look. We've already set these guys up. We're gonna make it look horrible. It's
Yeah.
gonna be bad.
Yeah, they can't win this fight.
Bad. And then as soon as he will show up, Gandalf himself.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, we're good.
It is 100% a Deus Ex Machina, but as we talked about earlier, I love cliches, except for one specific one. And so for me, it's like, yeah, no. Eagles show up, I'm there. And then from there, giant bird.
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with vampires, but if you want some ideas, we still have I say that is not a direct invitation. You are not welcome in my house, vampire.
Right.
Please do not misunderstand and think that is an invitation into my home. We have Australian, Native American. We have German, which, man, that's dark stuff. Just be aware if we do that, it's dark stuff.
Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Andorra.
You gonna do the song?
And okay. Antigua, Barbuda, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Barbados. How many are there? It keeps going.
Also, we were like 20 in there and hadn't even gotten to one that we've done.
195 countries.
We've done like 8 episodes on mythology at this point.
8 or 10, around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zimbabwe, Yemen.
I don't know if the Let's Go is for you singing the song or for Australia.
All right. Trinidad and Tobago. That'll be Caribbean.
Yeah. And again, before you go, well, let's just go down the list. I'm not saying anybody was going to say that, but somebody on like YouTube or something, some of these are going to overlap,
Yeah.
Do like a poll. We could do like a poll. There's a lot of
Within 195
places.
Okay, not necessarily 195 now. So
Right.
There's like 188.
I think the poll only gives us like 4 options.
Yeah.
But as we whittle them down, eventually we'll be able to do a Twitch poll.
Hold on. What is this?
Let's go. No, to my house. No, that was not an invitation, vampire. That's not an invitation. Do a poll and narrow it down. We'd have to do like letters, and we'd have to do like 7 polls in a row.
I don't know. Ethiopia's got big history.
It does. Chat was talking about Australia earlier, so that's
Australia,
high on the list. We
Watch
could
out,
pick like
Peter
a poll
Pan.
and do a poll.
Okay, so put Australia on there.
Okay. Let me see if I can make a poll on my phone.
And then I want to put Ethiopia on
I don't think I can make a poll on my phone.
there. No!
Did not bring my laptop because I didn't think I would.
Like Fiji would be Polynesian. Georgia would fall under Russian,
Right.
Slavic. I'm sure it has its own. Germany would be kind of good. That'd be good too. Because Hungary's got has like some stuff that
Some crossover, yeah.
Krampus, for example.
Yeah.
They got Krampus there. That goes from through Germany up into the Denmark, Netherlands, right?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I can't do a poll on my phone. So if we just want to pick like 4 and say which one do you guys want. But we've already got 1 vote for Australia.
Okay.
Germany has some cool stuff in there, but it's all super dark. Just as a reminder.
Yeah. So let's put Australia, Ethiopia, Germany, and and so how about Laos?
Okay. So again, can't make the poll on my phone, so we're gonna do a verbal poll. Laos, Australia, Ethiopia, and Germany. So place your votes for any one of the four. We'll give you 2 minutes or so. That should be enough time for YouTube delay, I think.
Figure it out. Hopefully.
Somewhere close to it.
Try to get some votes in.
Faith has voted Australia.
That's fair. We can do that.
And if you're watching this later on YouTube and you're like, man, if I was there live, I would have voted this, go ahead and let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
So we know what people are most interested in seeing. Because, again, there's a lot of options.
Vote with Faith. That'd be 2.
That's 3 Australia. Okay.
Australia. We'll do Australia.
That's pretty much a guaranteed Australia wins.
Yeah. On Australia, Aboriginal history and things like that. So, well, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Just don't mix it up with Austria, because that gets dark too.
Yeah, no. Don't want to do that.
Look, all I'm saying is, like, Krampus is such a, like, that's the one people know, right?
Yeah.
Krampus is the one people know for Germany, and that's already a horrifying story.
Yeah.
Like, collects the children and has them make the toys out of their skin.
You either have, you be a good kid, and you'll get visited by St. Nicholas. If not, then you're going to get Krampus.
Yep.
It's your choice.
Also, like, Germany's version of St. Nicholas is not very nice either. Like, he's got Black Peter with him. Black Peter's got a whip. While he's in the house, you're not good, Black Peter whips you.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the whole point of German mythology, for the most part, is
discipline.
Be good. If you're not good, this is what happens.
There's a whip, there's a way, yes.
Yeah.
And emus will kill you. Yeah.
Oh, can we talk about the Great Emu War?
I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember.
Yes. You know what emus are? Giant birds.
I was really expecting to say chocobos.
I mean, they kind of are, yeah. Little Tide Boys and the Witch with them. Yeah, that was fine all podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
German mythology.
Watch out, bearded man!
It's not fun for a lot of people, but I love it.
No, all this is, man.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we're going into it, and I'm not, like I said, we didn't go so far into it. We're trying to get a good idea of
Scratching the surface.
you know, we're going through it. But the whole idea, you know, you could set your game in Hungary, and you've got everything.
Yeah.
Historically, mythology.
That's right.
Mythology set out.
Come on, Trey!
The names from the mythology, and it's going to feel like a new experience for everybody, even though they're fighting dragons and ghosts.
If you want a knight, you can have a knight. There's a knight right there, you know.
Or you can take a janissary from Persia.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's options.
Yeah. Especially if you do that Two Kingdoms thing I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And have it being, you know, one side is Europe, one side is Persia.
Right. Do that. That story's kind of sticking with me, the two brothers.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things, you know, we're two brothers story. Here it is again.
Yeah. They're going to kill each other.
Or something. It's like, no, they don't. You know, they actually try to come to a civil discussion.
Yeah. I'm a huge hypocrite because when it comes down to it, I love cliches, but I also love it when somebody doesn't do a cliche, when it looks like it's going to be one.
Yeah.
And they subvert it well, not just when they subvert it. Because, you know, Star Wars. But, no, I love both. But, no, that really did stick out to me, too. The fact that, hey, we're going to let the sword decide. It kind of reminded me of a moment in one of your campaigns when nobody knew which way we needed to go. There were a bunch of different options.
Yeah.
And we threw an anchor up and let the gods decide.
Yeah.
I say I did that. The rest of the party just had to put up with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they hated it.
It worked out. It worked out.
But
turned out that was a special. It's a halberd, basically.
yeah.
Turned out it was like also a drag weight.
Yeah, and it led to the god that, you know, he was looking for. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It works out. But no, I think other than the brothers and the bird, I think my favorite thing is the depiction of Satan here. Because it's like, I wonder if that's where the idea comes from. Of the, like, goat man.
Possibly. It definitely seems to have the, you know, or if they were the early roots of that idea, it was ingrained there already. Right?
Yeah.
Gone through and kind of picked up. the
I'm trying to remember what it was called.
the name went on my head. I'm going back up to it.
Ordog?
Ordog, yeah.
Yeah. I saw it when you were flicking through there. And
You should have stopped me. I went past it. There it is. Yeah. Ordog. Yes. Yeah, it's very tempting. Always tempting humans into wrongdoing.
so, I'm excited for Australia. I know next to nothing about Australian mythology.
I know a little bit about like tertiary hand knowledge.
Yeah.
At the very best. A couple of things from the Aboriginal beliefs, right? And how they view world and nature. But yeah, nothing deep at all. So that
I'm stoked for that.
It's just
me.
you.
That's fair. That's fair.
it's just you, man.
I'm stoked. And then again, if your suggestion didn't get found tonight, or you're watching this later on YouTube or on Twitch and going, man, I wanted them to talk about this one, then let us know.
Yeah,
Because we can prioritize
I forgot the golden stag.
Oh,
It's my fault for jumping back and forth between the two.
my imagination.
Well, I talked about the white stag that they followed, and if they found one,
Right.
like they might be sacrificed to the war god or everything. But apparently there's an enchanted golden stag named Sodas Zarvas. Zarvas? Yeah, and apparently
Thank you.
quest giver. Golden. I want a quest.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would feel important.
Will mentioned him earlier. King of the Fae, Lord Oberyn,
Yeah.
show up as a stag sometimes.
Yeah.
Give people quests, and they'd be really freaked out.
Yeah, through like a lot of European myths, the stag's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you get over here and a lot of the Native American ones, the idea of a deer, the stag still kind of is a big deal. It goes to the forest, things like that, and what they called them.
Yeah.
All through that.
And if anybody's confused why I keep saying Lord Oberyn and never just his name, it's because he's a deer, and deer hate me. And
All
so
right.
I'll take any chance I can get to make them hate me a little less.
Little less. I understood. I don't have much more.
No, I think we pretty much got it. I mean, again, if there's stuff in Hungarian mythology we didn't talk about and you're watching this
There
later,
is.
please tell us
Yeah.
what your favorite part of it is, because we are just, like we said earlier, scratching the surface. We're not trying to go too deep because we want to share all the cool ideas. If we got too deep, we'd be stuck on one for ever.
Yeah. Through that. And the best thing that this podcast to do is make you go, you know what? I want to look into more into that, and then actually go listen to people that know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Not just us, right?
Yeah. We give you a list, and then you get to go look up. This one was my favorite. I'm gonna pull up a YouTube video on that, and you'll find, I'm sure, like hour-long breakdowns of stories and stuff.
I kind of want to look more into the Perovska.
Yeah, that's really
to
interesting.
see how that changes. It sounds like in the Hungarian tales, she's like a full-on character. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It goes on.
Now, I noticed some really interesting pictures of her that had her venerated almost as a saint. And so that could be a really interesting story to learn more about.
See, and there's people that we know they existed, but they also have like myths and legend kind of built up around them. I guess that falls more into legend, right? The Nagy Lajos
Right.
is the king of Hungary. He's known as Louis the Great.
Right.
Very prominent medieval king. There's tales about
Of course.
him, Harry Janos, soldier. Now he was a storyteller. You knew you were getting a lie.
Yeah.
What he was saying, but they were great tales. I found a lot of those were like, hey, this person fought in this world, beat back these people,
Right.
protected the homeland, therefore they get a pedestal.
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes sense. We do that today.
Yeah, we do. We do. I did. But the idea of like Attila Hun there, that's who he was.
Yeah.
This guy, which not saying he's a great guy. I'm just saying
Right.
that he was he knew what he was doing with his military.
Yep.
Through that, and I like putting it. I don't know why in my brain it's supposed to like these are the borders where he came from. This is
Right.
the culture and the idea where this guy came from.
No, I find what we talked about tonight to be really fascinating. I'm excited for Australia next week.
Right on. Yeah, there's lots of countries. Lots of countries.
Yep.
And it really we can't even define some of those countries. Whether we could do some of those like tribes or provinces of a country.
Regions.
Regions in there.
Yeah.
Ah.
And they all start to mix. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. I don't have much more.
Tomorrow I'm painting. But
Okay,
I
I think that's
will,
what I said yesterday.
right.
Okay.
I will announce again that after tomorrow's stream, if we finish the goats, which I think we're going to get pretty close. If not, I might just finish them.
Okay.
Yeah. But after tomorrow's stream, we're going to be changing up Fridays. We're going to start doing some weird stuff. We're going to call it Frivolous Fridays and just have a good time,
Okay.
We'll be frivolous. We'll play whatever or do whatever. There was a strong recommendation for me to at some point just do we're just gonna like the just chatting streams, but about Gundam with like all spoilers for all series.
Oh, okay.
And so we might do that on a project. Who knows? We'll paint, we'll build, we'll do weird stuff and play weird games. So I used to stream weird games in the Discord a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it'll kind of be like that, except for everybody.
All right.
So
Yeah, I have something to do on a Friday. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
then Monday we'll be back with Mondays. You give trade assignments, sort of. If you tell me you want me to try something, I'll give it a shot. But and every once in a while we'll do like mini Gundam game days where we're not going to go for 6 hours or 8 hours, but we'll go for a handful of hours and then play some Gundam games.
And see how it works.
Yeah. Monday we'll be back in Lotro. We got to try and protect the hidden guard.
In Mirkwood, yes. So don't go to.
And then Tuesday we'll be back with a regular podcast. Already some crazy news that has dropped that we were talking about earlier that we'll be talking about. So look forward to that. And then Wednesday you'll play something.
Yeah, we'll figure that out Tuesday.
So
Y'all will tell me what I'm playing.
and Thursday we'll talk Australia.
Yeah.
So in the land down under.
Yes.
I'm not going to try and do the accent.
Right.
But yeah, you played Eternal Threats.
Yeah.
We'll see if he winds up with that again. The dice seem to love that number, and I don't want to just change the number
All right.
because that doesn't seem fair. But we'll see. Until next time, I've been Trey.
I have been hungry.
This has been the Full Spectrum TTRPG podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Hungarian mythology has to offer.